We need a team dance. Hey, everybody, welcome to The Blathering. That's right, I said The Blathering. It's The Blathering Live with me, Ken Napzok. Here 3 times a week, live. Hanging out with all of you. Also still in podcast form. Don't forget to subscribe to the Napzok Network wherever you get your favorite podcast so you can get the audio version of a Monday morning show. You can also support a Patreon or here on YouTube and get the video version of that show if you want. James Holmes here checking in from the UK. Michael McCarsell says, evening, folks. I'll have to hop in later and catch up. What are you doing with your life, Michael, that you can't hang out with us for 2 hours? Jared from the Nerd Academy podcast is here. He's threatening us with a story. Or maybe that's not a threat. I don't know. Maybe he's just telling us. Maybe he's excited about a story. Why did I take it as a threat? Will McLean's here as well. It is a Monday indeed. Monday Night Football starting. I don't even know who's playing tonight because my season is in a lot of turmoil already. We'll get to that. Sports top of the hour. Top of the next hour. I'm going to take a lot of live calls tonight. We're also going to talk about bread. Steve has a controversial question potentially on bread and a mystery about bread. Do you like bread? Tonight's your show. Will McLean says double header. I don't know if I like that. I love football. Love watching a lot of football. I don't know if like Monday Night Football being a doubleheader. It's been that bit for a bit. Adam Knight's here, wants an Emmy. Let's talk a little bit about the enemies of the Emmys. The Emmys, Primetime Emmys award last night. I didn't watch them, and I don't judge anyone who does because I used to be a absolute big fan of watching award shows. Late 90s, I was the little kid I was in college. I wish I was little, doing the scorecard. This is who won. I used to study it. I used to love it. Used to be a big fan. So I get it. Golden Globes are kind of fun, especially every year Bill Murray would show up drunk. I just don't think in the end, and I don't think anyone who watches that stuff believes this, by the way, but I think in the end, the awards don't mean as much as we'd like them to mean. I think it's great for the people that get them because I was a fan of the people that got them, including Andor getting the writing win and best drama. Dan Gilroy, who sounds tremendously a lot like his brother Tony Gilroy to an off-putting measure. There's a lot of that. We're going to talk about that. Talk about Hannah Einbinder winning. I'm a big fan of Hacks. I really like Gene Smart. Really like Hannah Einbinder's work. Of course, daughter of Lorraine Newman. Big Eagles fan. We don't hold that against her. But stirred some controversy last night at the Emmys by using her platform to speak out. Something we talked about recently on Anytime. How important that is in these times, how it's sometimes expected, but how it was making me think about award shows and the history of speaking out in award shows and how it's often taken by the general population, the audience, people on the other side of the issues that those people are speaking out on. Fascinating. Chat for that. Chat about that in a second. Stephen Colbert getting the last laugh as well. So we'll do all that. We'll bring in Steve here in a second. I'm going to take a big sip of water. Had some vegan mac and cheese for late lunch today. It was tasty, it was good, but it dried me the hell out because I put too much garlic salt in it. If my doctor actually knew who I was and it wasn't just a number in the Kaiser system, he'd be disappointed. I want to press on, press forward today, or at least this week, onto other things in life. We're never turning our eyes to the situations going on in the world. Today, the Israeli government and their armed forces made some sort of move into Gaza City, did a strike there. It's pretty tough to watch. That's on a lot of people's minds. It should be there. It's part of maybe the Hannah Einbinder conversation as well. There's that. We're still dealing with the fallout of the murder of Charlie Kirk, as I mentioned on my show this morning, Monday morning show. I'm still pretty angry about everything around that, the discussion, and the people I see who are just either willingly or shockingly blind to the truth about that man, which does not mean I'm celebrating his murder or asking for more of that. I'm sure that's conversations I'll be having this week with people even I know in my real life, or IRL, as they say. But I'm still, it's a highly charged thing, and I get it. I get it all around. I think there's a lot of that going on. I talk more about it on the Monday morning show. So check that out as you can see what's going on. But one of the things that happened today, I just can't let this stuff go. I love God. I think I'm down with Jesus or the concept of Jesus. Is there some historical proof that Jesus was real? Yeah, maybe, but I'm down with it. I'm not denying Jesus Christ in front of the world, okay? I'm not. was raised differently, and I still talk to whatever I have in my heart as God. Just did it about 45 minutes ago because I don't know how my immediate future is going to go, and I need help on it, right? So sometimes, even if there's nothing there, even if God is more real if you put eyes on a sock and talk to yourself, it doesn't matter. It feels good when you're talking out loud. I say that because when I see the Vice President, J.D. Vance, sitting down to guest host the Charlie Kirk show following his murder and the show not having a host. So let's bring in JD. Stephen Miller's a guest. Producer Steve might talk about that. But to just continue to invoke the name of Jesus Christ and the Bible and those beliefs and have it be lapped up by folks who just hear that and stop, I think, maybe all the critical thinking beyond that. I don't know, saying something to you in my audience doesn't help. But I just think we have to call that out more and more and more. And not rip away the idea of God from anyone, but quite the opposite. Go the other way. If you believe, defend this stuff. Defend these actual words. One of the things Vance is saying that is an absolute lie and a misrepresentation of the truth is that he says that though both sides have crazies, he says it's not a both sides issue, that most political violence comes from the left. And then someone today ran stats that I didn't have a chance to vet myself, and we always say, and I even got a little bit of stepped on the mashed potatoes last week, with the whole Kirk and stoning the gays, and check out Saturday's episode for that. But it's generally speaking 6-1, 6-1, right-wing generated political violence versus one on the left. But also, my other point is 2 points. If this killer, if more comes out, and it's so fluid right now, he was raised by this kind of family, but he may have been this kind of person, and his roommate may have been a transgender person, or but that may be a person he was in a relationship with. Well, you know what that means? All that stuff is still in flux. And when the dust finally settles, if the killer is a card-carrying Bernie bro, Democratic socialist, dating a transgender person, and he did it for the left in a culture war, we will disown him. We will disown him and disavow and say, that's not us. We will not lionize and ask for statues. He's still technically with us right now. We will not do that. We will not Kyle Rittenhouse him. Same thing with the Epstein list. Well, you know, Bill Clinton might be on it. Yeah, I hope he's on it. So we can finally put him to bed too. No side is perfect. No person is perfect. Got it. But that's kind of where I'm at with that. And to see J.D. Vance sit there, a man who probably will be president sooner than later based on health reports coming out of things in the Beltway there, it's just disgusting. And the other thing, too, any one of these killers or would-be killers, whether it's successful or attempted or whatever, are not of any sound mind. So I don't go even the other direction. I'm not going to hold every person registered as a Republican responsible if some nutbag goes off legitimately trying to kill a presidential candidate. Like, that's, to me, personally, how it doesn't work that way. And so that's part of what's frustrating about what's going on. So let's bring in producer Steve. I love bringing in producer Steve. The toughest possible moments. How's the weather?
Way to lay up a softball for me, buddy. I appreciate that. Yeah. Gun violence. Fix it, Steve. Go. Gun violence. I would rather you ask me to fix baseball.
Gun violence. Your thoughts.
Cam in the chat has a great point, though. 100% of gun deaths are caused by guns. That's a good place to start. But yeah, no, I think you hit some good points on. I similarly had icky thoughts about seeing the highlights of Vance sitting there in the chair for the Charlie Kirk show, and just like I just picture, and I again, I don't always. It's not a whataboutism. I just think about these things from like a would it be a Veep skit or like an SNL skit or just funny,
right?
To see like Kamala sitting in for like Rachel Maddow if Rachel Maddow somehow tragically passed away, you know what I mean? And just how absolutely batshit insane that would be, right? As a complete and total teardown of what we think is the Fourth Estate and all this stuff, whatever. Whatever. It's just, that's where we are. And then he had Stephen Miller on, who might honestly be one of the most evil people in this country in the last like 60 years from a position of power. That guy like legitimately creeps me out.
If we somehow make it forward past the 2040 expiration date some people are predicting of the fall of our empire, he should be studied for a long time. I agree with you on that there, too. Agree with that there. We're going to get to bread talk here in a moment. Also, I want your calls. We got Jared the Tide Pod. No, excuse me, Jared the Dark Jedi. Other Jared tonight. Lined up here tonight. If you want to call on the show, be a YouTube channel member or a Patreon supporter. Do that. We got a question from James in the UK we'll get to here that we do have to get to here. This was one I think he paid for before and we ignored it accidentally. So, there we go. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Emmys last night, though. Steve, you big fan of watching award shows?
Honestly, I used to. That was a thing back in college, like when all the boys living in the house together or whatever. It was one of those excuses we had to sit around the couch and drink and mostly gamble. I won a shit ton, Ken, back in 2013 on Jeff Daniels winning for the Newsroom. I think he was like third, fourth favorite, and he won. And I like ran around my college living room. It was so exciting. It was like one of the nerdiest things I think I ever got excited for.
Let me ask this question regarding gambling. I'm not suggesting that you have any kind of issue, but you're good at gambling. Do you have any bets laid down on the birth coming up here? Do you have a side bet with the doctor? Like, how's it go? Where do you bet that normally people wouldn't bet?
So for the birth of my child, I'm out of it. My whole family has like a whole pool. There's like there's been a whole thing basically since like it really started like the 1st of September, really through the end of the month. And everyone has like a collection of days. And if the baby is born on their day, they win the pool. So we're in my dad's window right now. So if the baby's born between now and like, well, yes, it was big Saturday and I think like maybe Wednesday is Pop's window. So if the baby comes in, he wins the pool of money. So stuff like that. But no, we've talked about before some of my more degenerative gambling experiences were definitely during the height of COVID when we didn't have real sports and there were people rolling marbles down Hot Wheels tracks and gambling on that in real time using crypto. Yeah. That was probably one of the less admirable things I've done.
That is definitely a little timepiece right there. That's a period piece you're talking about there. 2020 and what's that? Yell Marble Races or whatever. That channel blew up. That channel.
Oh yeah. Oh, this wasn't some big channel, Ken. This was some guy on Twitch, like young 20s on Twitch, who literally set up like Hot Wheels tracks in his room. Yeah. Because again, we were all sitting in our room. Elaborate Hot Wheels tracks, and you would have like 10 marbles of each of a different color. And he would let them. He had a little mechanism that would let them all go. They would go down the Hot Wheel track, and whatever marble you bet on won. And we were able to use crypto to place wagers on it for entertainment purposes, of course.
Wait a minute. All right. So I misunderstood you. So this happened in front of you in your rooms?
No.
Or did you watch it on the internet?
I watched it on Twitch. Yeah.
On Twitch. You said on Twitch.
Yep.
So it's not Yell's or Helly's Marble Run that you're talking about.
No. I'm familiar with that, but it was not this. It was not. There was a lot of people in the marble game back in COVID, Ken. There were a few copycats. Yeah.
Yeah. Look. I during COVID, I chose. Oh, you know what's a good time to write a very heavy satire style podcast with me doing all the voices. That takes a lot of time to produce. That is going to cut out 75% of my audience. That's what I should do during COVID. I should have just set up that damn squirrel camera then.
Right.
We'd be all millionaire employees of Kedden's Critters YouTube channel.
Yep. That would have been the move. That would have been the move. Yeah, the wave. Well, you still have a chance here, but people are still interested in the squirrels, so you have a chance. Like that bald eagle cam blew up over COVID.
Yeah.
The one at Big Bear, I think it is, where they we had like a couple little, they like would have an egg every season, and then everyone would be like, "Oh, is it gonna live? Is it gonna fly?" All that stuff. So yeah. Very very exciting.
All right. Well, your gambling problems aside, last night of the Emmys, Hannah Einbinder won for Hacks. She is Philly. Really, is she from Philly? I know her mom's Lorraine Newman. I forget her dad is Mr. Einbinder. Is she Philly born and bred? Do you know?
I don't know, but she's a Birds fan, and we'll take the support. I'll take it all we can get. That
I knew. When she won, she gave a nice little speech, thanking the creators of Hacks and all that good stuff, and then ended it with saying, "Finally, go Birds, fuck ICE, and free Palestine. Thank you." Backstage, she goes on to say, "I thought it was important to talk about Palestine because it's an issue that's very dear to my heart. I have friends in Gaza who are working as frontline workers, as doctors right now in the north of Gaza to provide care for pregnant women, for school children to create schools in the refugee camps. And it's an issue that's really close to my heart for many reasons. I feel like it is my obligation as a Jewish person to distinguish Jews from the state of Israel because our religion and our culture is such an important and longstanding institution that is really separate to this sort of ethno-nationalist state." So good comments there. Fun comments, if you could call it that, because of the issue it was bringing and addressing with the Fuck ICE and Free Palestine. But I think that was like a great award show moment. But I think even better comments at the presser afterwards to explain it. Proud of her as an Eagles fan.
Very proud. That was her comments I thought were some of the most coherent thoughts I've seen someone in a public space put together that was a great radio call, Ken. Like, right? Yeah. Like her thoughts on it, like she got in, she got out, she hit the points. she didn't screw around. Like her entire comment was like perfect for an NPR, like, let's save the world kind of telethon. Yep. I really was kind of low-key hoping when they asked her about it, she was, again, all joking aside, we understand it's all very serious, but I kind of low-key was hoping she would just be like, well, they're playing the Chiefs today. I really, wanted to make sure that I got that in front. Everyone's giving a lot of shit for the tush push, blah, blah, blah. Just went hard in on Travis Kelce's lost a step and just talking about the Eagles-Chiefs game, not the rest of her comments. Because she did say go Birds. So, and I don't know if they necessarily specified which part of her statement they were asking for comment on. So, but anyways, I thought she handled it well.
Yeah, she handled it well, and I love it. And it got me thinking about the history of award shows and the public politics and how, I still, even with this show, like even today, I was like, I don't really want to talk about politics today. I really don't want to. We'll touch it. I've gotten, I was angry Friday, Thursday, angry Saturday, angry on the Monday morning show, and anger can only take you so far. And I'm not that kind of show. The Blathering is a radio show for a modern age. We do go to all spots, and I was like, today I don't. And then I saw the JD Vance stuff about 4:00, and I was like, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. So I'm happy to be on that spot. But it's an interesting track over the years, whether it's Marlon Brando refusing the Oscar and sending a Native American up to speak on those issues. There, still one of the biggest, I think. Activist moments in award show history, from Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon, and even my guy Letterman saying, I think it's funny, but even Letterman kind of taking a swipe when he introduced them, like, here's Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon, they're probably pissed off about something. That's kind of the history of it, and I get it's probably part of the divide, not even left right, but I don't know how the general public still to this day, they've got to receive it badly, where they just, it's a boo, right? It's a boo. How dare you come up and put politics into my fun, even though we're talking about art. Dan Gilroy wins for writing Andor. Please don't put politics in my art with a political statement in your speeches. So it just got me thinking today about all those times in the past where maybe even I kind of rolled my eyes. Oh, here comes Sean Penn again. And then at some point you either start to listen and you realize the importance of platform, and you realize that this person knows that this is the opportunity to say something that maybe it's not going to change minds. And maybe the cynic might be just like, well, it makes them feel good, but at least it can get people Googling, searching, thinking, because I think, Steve, we're surprised at how many people are completely disengaged and don't even know what's going on over there.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think there's a fair distinction to make between Yeah, like the Brando moment, the Sean Penn things, the thing you see Leonardo DiCaprio do, the things you see different stars talk about that they're passionate about. But you're when Leo goes up there and talks about global warming for 20 minutes, all I think about is, yeah, but how many like yachts and private jets do you own? Like blah 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 blah. Right. So it's like, so it's not performative in a sense. I'm not saying it's performative, but in the sense that it's like, what she did last night was different because it was a conversation starter. We're talking about it today in a way that you wouldn't when Sean Penn does his thing or Leo does his thing, the thing they always do that doesn't really have any juice behind it. Whereas this is at least putting it forward, and someone who's watching the Emmys but doesn't know about this. Wait a minute. Why is ICE bad? I thought ICE was just getting bad guys. And now maybe you opened one person's mind up.
I really think that's a wonderful point because, yes, there is something a little bit laborious about the other stuff, a little bit too self-righteous, too self-important. And that's just me stepping a little bit towards cynicism, but also saying, hey, maybe we should have listened. Hey, you just kind of grow up with learning a celebrity that does that shouldn't be taken seriously. Roll your eyes at them. And I wish the adults in my life had helped me look at those causes and speaking out about those causes differently. But talk about effective in this modern age. You're absolutely right. That quote that could fit on a t-shirt, right? And then her follow-up comments are handled brilliantly, intelligently, and warmly and compassionately, and just overall just great response. So I agree with you. That's the way to do it. Meme it. It's a meme culture. Meme it.
There will absolutely be. I think the Eagles play at home this week. I would be shocked if you could go to an Eagles game, walk around it. If you did a whole lap around the place, someone will make that T-shirt in the next 6 days and wear it at the Eagles game this coming Sunday that says "Go Birds, fuck guys, free Palestine." That will be on a T-shirt in the next 6 days. It'll be a white shirt with classic green Kelly green lettering with a little birds thing, or it'll be like "Go" and then the birds logo, something like that. Let's print a T-shirt, Ken. Let's make some money.
Let's do that. I almost made some money from the Eagles this week. Did the Chiefs cover? Oh, man.
The Eagles, yeah, you did. Well, the Eagles got you. You went 2-3, but we'll get to that when we talk sports. The Dallas let you down.
All right. I want to address too. Stephen Colbert wins for late night talk show there. That's a on the way out kind of thing. Very happy for him. I was probably on the opposite side, not opposite side, but just had a little bit more darker, cynical take on just the state of late night when that whole thing happened with him. I still think it was dripping in the kind of presidential censorship that the corporation bent the knee to and all that stuff. But interesting to see. I don't know the future lane. I just actually had a conversation with a friend last night, Saturday night over at the Comedy Club. I was hosting 2 shows, and we were talking about not only is late night done, sitcoms are done, shows are done. Everything that we once knew is done. It's getting there faster than you think. There was an article that came out last week in which TV producers are worried that no one watches their shows anymore of certain generations. They just wait for the clips. And like I do that on SNL. Like I'm there. I haven't watched SNL start to finish in 5, 6, 7 years. I just wait for the clips to show up. And now that is affecting the industry even more than already what's going on. And so all that to say, this is a great way to send Colbert off into a new endeavor. So your thoughts there, and then we can move on.
Yeah, no, I think I'm excited to see what he does next. I think this was a good platform for him to be able to kind of get his piece of the message out that's not on his show necessarily, that it reach a different audience a little bit. But you're right about the way that the kind of clip culture has changed the way we consume that sort of media. I think that's where Netflix and the streaming services, I think that's why they were willing to spend so much money as quick as they did, the way they did, because they knew that the plot narrative, fictional storytelling, start, middle, end is something that you can't necessarily clip out the same way. It has a little bit of a different shelf life than the way an SNL does, the way a live talk show does. It's just a different product and can be commoditized a different way. But I think if anyone's going to be able to translate their brand of humor, their messaging, their style of entertainment from the Colbert Report to a traditional talk show to whatever the hell comes next, I think Colbert is definitely going to have his audience is going to follow him for sure. So I imagine whatever he does between him, Jon Stewart, John Oliver, I'm hoping they're going to team up and do something cool.
I think he will go the way of those guys, but also Conan, and have just one of those sit downy podcasts where he talks about all this stuff, free reign, and it's going to do very, very well. So there you go. There we go with that. Let's take some calls and we'll get to some bread talk after that. So let me set up the old calls here. There is, you'd think I'd have it memorized of where I put the calls. First caller in, we got a tale of two Jareds, but this Jared with an O was in first. So from the Nerd Academy podcast, here is Jared the Dark Jedi, who has threatened us with a story, Steve.
I have threatened with a story, unfortunately kind of dragging us a little bit back into the Kirk of it all. But what you were talking about, I was especially excited to tell this story that happened today when I saw public politics in the title. I think I experienced a minor McCarthyism today.
Oh, just a nice, not J.J. McCarthy of the Minnesota Vikings, but a minor Senator Joe McCarthyism.
Unfortunately, yeah. So I've said it here. I've said it on my show. I'm between jobs right now. I had a job interview earlier that went very well, but as I was sitting down for it, I got a phone call from an old district manager at a footwear and apparel store I used to work at that may share the name of a classic rock band. Don't Stop Believing in It. And, I reject the call and I texted a friend of mine on my way home who still works there. And I said, hey, do you have any reason why this person may have called me earlier? And the person who still worked there was like, oh, yeah, they asked me for your number earlier. I didn't get a chance to tell you. I think I know what it's about. And they told me that they may have thought that this former district manager was trying to offer me a job because the store I used to work at is in disarray. Not important.
Okay.
So I get home and I go to call her back, kind of hoping that I have maybe 2 jobs lined up that I get to pick from.
Rainfall.
She answers the phone and proceeds to tell me that despite me not having worked at said store for almost 2 years now, somehow a Facebook post I made about the Charlie Kirk assassination that was basically a print version of what you and Alden said on Anytime. This is horrific. This is terrible. This is not acceptable, but this is nothing new. This is a hateful man. He created a monster that came back to eat him. That does not excuse it. But,
just
pretending that this didn't happen the way it happened is foolish and dangerous as well.
Right.
Apparently, this post makes its way to the corporate of this place, where she was told that it was expected that she discipline me for this.
So this message makes a journey to the top of the corporate ladder for a company you no longer work for.
One could say it made a journey to the corporate ladder.
Yeah. It wasn't like a kid's journey. It was the full-on journey to the top. Okay.
A full-on journey to the top.
Okay.
And
so
and she called me to basically give me a heads up that she was like, and I told them, you don't work here anymore, which is still, I think, the most insane part of all of this.
Yeah.
I don't know what watch list I'm on was like, ooh, this former sales lead made a comment about a dead public figure. Handle him, but also didn't know I wasn't employed there anymore. But she went to bat for me nonetheless. She was like, listen, if you think he doesn't work here anymore, but if he did and you expected me to fire him, you're going to have to fire me first.
Nice.
10 toes down. I appreciate standing on business like that.
Yeah.
But I found out about this maybe 4 or 5 hours ago, and I'm still not over the fact that, like, if I were still working at this place, there was a chance that my job was on the line because I said political violence is bad, but also he contributed to political violence. Do with that what you will. And with the public politics of it all in this episode, I had to call in and share that story.
That's first of all, it's fat. That story should start and stop with, I don't work there anymore by a couple years. I have journeyed on, dear company. So, and I'm sure someone sees your post, someone Googles you or dark web searches you. Maybe that comes up first, right? So, I got him. I'm going to go get him here. Jared, too, that stuff is, I think about it too. Here I am on this show, swinging around into all these topics, and I didn't used to do that, and for a lot of reasons, and some of it too was, well, I just don't want to step on any toes, you know, and you know, I just Republicans buy sneakers too, says Michael Jordan, like, and I think about it too. I think about if you're looking at me to maybe, hey, maybe this guy can produce our podcast or something. Let's see what his show is. It might come up, but that's where the chips are going to fall now for me. And I'm sure I know you're in the same spot.
Yeah.
But it is Friday, and I don't mind being cautious. I'll say publicly, like Force Center in the past, we knew when we were going to call our shots. We didn't feel the need to step in. To comment on who was not eating eggs on Mandalorian episodes, just because other podcasts were fighting over it. We're like, we pay our bills from this. We treat this a little differently, and our response is different. So I would never, if anyone here in chat is like, I can't say anything, I have this job. I get it. It's just baffling because of what you said. Probably had reason and was well thought out, and that would be what gets you in trouble.
It is kind of mind-boggling. And again, like there are some people who I don't, you know, I think people with a platform have an obligation to speak on it, you know, but that comes in like really extreme circumstances. You know, I think when there's a size of platform at hand, then there's a different conversation to be had. But when you're kind of that, like, you know, weird, ambiguous, like, you know, like the meme that was all over TikTok for a while, that like niche micro internet celebrity, where like, you know, you have a considerable following and this is your day job, but also you're not like an A-list actor, you know, or, you know, this,
you're not secure
position or something. Yeah. And like, I also think there's something to be said for people who go, I'm not the one to talk. I'm not the one to speak on this, you know, understanding that there's a time and a place for certain voices to weigh in, and also going, I don't think I know enough to add meaningfully to this conversation. I know plenty of people who are on the right side of history when it comes to Gaza and the ongoing genocide happening in Palestine right now, but like who also go, I don't know enough about the minutia to speak on this effectively. They go, I know this is wrong, but I would be doing a disservice to the cause by running my mouth when I don't know my ass from my elbow on this topic,
I agree with
other
that.
than the objective, like moral reality.
Yeah.
So I respect that from a lot of people. I just absolutely beside myself on, you know, because Journey, oopsie.
Oh, I thought you said Zoomies. You said Zoomies? Okay.
Yeah, Zoomies. I work for Zoomies. I have a lot of Vans in my closet still. Before I transitioned into being a Jordan guy, because leftists buy sneakers too.
Yes, they do.
But some too many. But like that company likes to pride itself on putting on a very, you know, progressive, give back to the community, very like woke corporation kind of vibe. And you know, here I never had any, you know, misgivings about, you know, what's actually happening behind the scenes. But getting that, oh yeah, fire this guy who hasn't worked here in almost 2 years because he said he didn't drop to his knees and bow at the altar of Charlie Kirk. I just still beside myself and grimly entertained by it.
It happens. Look, and I would, you know, hey, you know, you do want to be somewhat careful, just not even with political statements, but just what you put on there. I had a friend who was disqualified from the LAPD process, which maybe his life was better for. But this is back in the day. He was trying to go for it. He was disqualified because they went to like his MySpace page and he had posted like prank videos of people sending their dogs up to sniff people's butts or something completely stupid early internet day. And they were like, no, immature, which is hilarious that was, but it's just like, yeah, all right, I get it. You know, it's a permanent record, but when it comes to something like this, speak out.
Buck wild
indeed. Jared, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. I appreciate being here, even though, how did you lost this weekend in fantasy football? Is that the rumor?
I got crucified this week in fantasy football.
So did
I have given the recent events, I'm not going to make the joke I was about to make. I got Alderaan in fantasy football. Not a good time. But you know what? I was playing against somebody who was respectful and dignified, and so I don't have to hold my head about it.
There you go.
I also saw somebody else in this chat, Lost Fantasy Football, this week, who might be running their mouth. But I won't hold up your calls anymore, especially because I might get black bagged by the FBI because apparently I'm an Antifa super soldier now.
Hey, that very free speech, obsessed right is going to be shutting down shows like this. So let's enjoy it while we can, Jared. I appreciate you, buddy.
Take care.
All right. There you go. Steve, have you ever been fired for saying horrible things about the Miami Dolphins online, or?
Not yet. That's why. Luckily, that's why I'm still just producer Steve, and none of you will ever know my real name. That's part of the fun behind it.
You do your footprint is a little small online. It's pretty impressive in this modern age.
Intentional.
Yeah.
I mean, as you can see now, I kind of just saw all this coming, folks. You know what I mean? I scrubbed my shit early. That's all.
Yeah, I don't mind. Again, it's not like anything. It is complicated. Like it's why I love going to LinkedIn and just seeing how pristine and clean every post is.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty funny. Pretty funny. Mumbo Jimbo, thank you for the super chat. Any chance the Emmy wins for Andor influence the course of Disney Plus for live action Star Wars shows? Personally, I don't think so. What do you think? No, I don't think so. I think they are definitely pulling out. I know they always talk about shows in development. I have not heard any rumor. I had heard the Maul Shadow Lord rumor for a while. That came to pass. But I don't know anything else beyond that. I'm not super plugged in the scoop culture as well. But, you hope. I think that's a show like that, even though they did have budget constraints on season 2 more than season 1, that is a company going, we need the prestige. This is our prestige show. We clearly saw them lean into it. It got 5 Emmy wins, the biggest one being this writing one because it's kind of a first for Star Wars at this level. I think that's kind of the win enough for them. And when they feel they need to do that again, maybe they'll dig in with the prestige show. But streaming being what it is, no one really knows the future. It'll just be clip show. It'll be like TikTok vertical dramas for Star Wars will be the future.
That's 12. 5 to 12 minute vertical Star Wars little novellas of what sandwich did Cassian eat today on the ship on the way to the other planet. Like it was just I think what's going to get them to make more quality stuff is if 10 times as many people watched Andor as did watch Andor. That's what gets them to make more Andors.
The numbers definitely improved. The numbers weren't spectacular season 1, and that's kind of the reality of it there. But the talk about it is good. 898 for him says sounds like Quibi. Yeah, Quibi. I'll say this. Someone very close to me got hired to host a Quibi show, and if Quibi hadn't failed, my life would be in a different spot right now, if you know what I mean, if you catch my drift and who I might be talking about. But part of the problem was just that. Quibi, the idea didn't fail. Everyone makes fun of the idea. I don't think the idea failed. The Quibi situation failed because they were just tossing money out of the plane like they were DB Sweeney or DB Cooper, not DB Sweeney, the actor, DB Cooper. I was thinking of Tony Gilroy in Cutting Edge because I was thinking of Tony Gilroy who wrote Cutting Edge with DB Sweeney, DB Cooper. But imagine DB Sweeney just throwing money out too. That was Quibi. Have you watched any of those vertical dramas there, producer Steve?
I've seen them, not like invested. Like I'm familiar with them. Yeah. I know what they are, but I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not saying you like follow one. Yeah. I'm just like
no. Yeah, but I know what you're talking about.
They thirsty. Thirsty.
Yeah. The internet.
It's the internet, man.
In general. Yeah.
We got thank you, Shawnee checking in here. Good evening, team. Love you all. Thank you. We're gonna take a call from Adam Knight here in a second. Check it in from the Great White North, our enemy, Canada. No one in Canada sounds like that. We do have this though, Steve. We have this question from James Holmes in the UK, sending us a £5 here, £5. Ken and Steve versus a Sasquatch up in the International Space Station. Either a blowtorch each, or you share a paint gun and an unreasonably sharp spork between you. Who wins, Sasquatch or you and me in the space station, Steve?
Okay, so let me just let's lay out our variables one more time. Steve, Ken, Sasquatch. Those are the players. The tools are either 2 blowtorches or a paintball gun. A paint gun? I'm assuming that's a paintball gun.
Paint gun,
and,
yeah.
And a spork, a sharp spork.
But an unreasonably sharp spork, yes. So
okay, so we have to go blowtorch, right?
You'd think so. But now we are up in space. We're inside a space station.
Right.
Wish Professor Addy was here. Will the blowtorch upset the apple cart and kill all of us?
We still win, though, technically, right?
Oh, yeah, that's technically a win.
If we take the Sasquatch, if the Sasquatch goes out with us, we still killed the Sasquatch, right? I mean,
yeah.
If we have to survive, that's a whole other story. But if we're going down, Ken, in the space station, we're bringing that bastard with us.
Yeah, I think that might be how we have to win. I think we have to crash the space station. The spork, the unreasonably sharp spork, is a good tool. So I think I might choose that out of fear of what the blowtorches might do to the situation in the International Space Station. Which, by the way, is there like a Russian cosmonaut around the corner just watching this? I'd like to know that. Will he help the Sasquatch? Or
he's filming it.
If I have my Ukraine hat on, will he go against us? I don't know. But I'd take paint gun to distract and one of us to run up, float up with the unreasonably sharp spork. Maybe if he just kind of stab him in the back. I don't know. It's brutal. At the end of the day, I'd like to just be friends with Bigfoot, but I think that's what we have to do.
I don't think your spork. I don't care how sharp your spork is. I think that coat is like, imagine trying to stab Chewbacca in the back with a spork. He's just gonna, like, I don't care how many G's of gravity there are. He's just gonna back swat you into whatever wall is closest to you. Right. At least with the blowtorch, here's my thinking with the blowtorch. We have 2 blowtorches, right? So one person distracts, the other person superheats something, anything in that space station that we could use to, like, brand the Sasquatch, essentially, or just, like, use like some kind of superheated spear or weapon or device of some kind. We use the blowtorch to our advantage in that way.
Okay, and in chat, Jared the Dark Jedi is saying that the torch can be used for mobility and combatively. So one of us uses the blowtorch as kind of a rocket propellant. The other one grabs on to the other person and uses the blowtorch, like you said, and then maybe we have a chance.
I would absolutely burn myself if I tried to use the blowtorch for mobility. I'd like, if it was like, it'd be like giving me the Iron Man suit. Like I'd like, blast myself right in the chest or the feet or something, trying to get away, or the face. You know what I mean? It's like, don't give me pepper spray because I'm worried I will, not have it pointed the right way, kind of thing.
Yep. That often happened in my own line of work, where one of my guys would spray themselves. I have a hilarious video of that, by the way. All right. So at the end of the day, I think, as always, it's a close call. Bigfoot might come out on top, but I like our chances here more than on Earth.
Okay. Fair enough. I think I like our chances better in the swimming pool scenario than in zero gravity, but okay. I don't know. Maybe the zero gravity will just throw the Bigfoot off so much he will just be completely disoriented and not know what to do, and that might be our best chance. But if he's aware and is like as conscious of the situation as we are, I think we're screwed no matter what. But I appreciate your optimism.
Well, Mr. McClunky's saying that in chat too. Bigfoot will not know what to do in the weightlessness, and that might be part of it as well. All right. Let's bring in a call here. Let's bring in a Mr. Adam Knight. Calling in from the Great White North. And to be fair, someone in chat who said that, Mumbo Jimbo, said, what was that accent? Scottish? Yeah. I don't know how you sound up there. How you doing, Adam?
The temptation to come in with a really hard, really shitty Scottish accent right there was huge. But at the risk of upsetting my ancestors, I'm not going to do that. Or the 2 people I have that actually buy my merch in Scotland. So I'm going to leave that alone for fear of upsetting the kettle.
You're a big seller in Scotland. I appreciate that. That's great.
At least with one particular lady. Anyways, things are going well.
I love it. What's on your mind today?
As much as I'd like to get away from the most crushing topic at hand involving the perforation of one racist Nazi misogynist, it's difficult to avoid.
It is.
I will say it's difficult to avoid no matter what. I'm on a group chat with a number of people that I consider my wrestling brethren. I coach every week. I take care of a lot of these guys and girls, right? And there's a lot of, as you might imagine, a lot of uneducated dipshits in that chat thread.
In pro wrestling? What are you
Shock.
talking about?
I know I'm speaking to the choir here with you, Ken, and it's but it is so frustrating when I see so many people who I quite frankly have a not just respect but love and admiration for. I know these people.
Yes.
I've met their children, right? You know, they've met my daughter. It's a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And one of them in particular is a young Aboriginal man, not that young, but still, who was talking about, guys, it's the weirdest thing. He's like, I found myself going to church this weekend as a result of what happened to CK. And because he was seeing a lot of the not the propaganda, but like the, you know, what a terrible tragedy and all this other stuff, and it made him feel right. So my natural reaction when I see that kind of, you know, propping up of a fucking imbecile in that kind of a thread is to like sort of, you know, here are facts, here are things, all the things that we try to do to educate the people in our lives to help them out. But I look at this guy and I go, here's somebody who is taking this, and it is a tragedy. I'm not saying the guy deserved it or didn't deserve it, but he's taking this tragic thing and he's using it as a way to try to better himself and to connect himself to some spirituality and some emotion. So what the fuck does a guy like me do with that? So far, I've kept my mouth shut. But my argument on that end is also like, I don't want the people that are encouraging him, saying, you know, and being supportive, to miss the forest for the trees here, right? Otherwise, they're going to speeder bike right headlong into something. I want them to sort of, you know, like my job as their coach and their mentor, and that's what I consider myself, is also to mentor them outside of what happens in that goddamn ring. So it's something that's been on my mind for a few days, and I don't quite know yet what to do about it, if anything.
I'm with you. I think you're maybe just letting it lie for now is a good thing, and hope that maybe when he does step into that establishment, that someone will speak on God's true love, and maybe that is where he goes and that's where he grows. You know, if the incident, you know, again, the incident, we get the murder many just witnessed because the video went around the world, was upsetting, unsettling. And I know some people who were severely affected by it, regardless of argument sides, ideology. So so if something like this makes him think about life, that moment, the staring into the eyes of the baby, and you suddenly find your new purpose, I think that's fine. I just think when the time is right, you know, without challenge, and because this is where I'm at, Adam, too. This is why I'm so angry, because I consistently see, just as you described, people that I know. These aren't strangers. These aren't names I knew because they befriended me in the schmoes days or something like that. When Facebook, we were just adding friends left and right. These are people in pro wrestling. It's funny you mentioned that. That was today.
I'm not surprised, am I?
Yeah, and there's some good folks there, by the way. But there's more what you described. But there's those people. There's people I mentors of my own that I grew up with that mentored me or I looked up to, adults, and I get wanting to post something or publicly say something of like, this was horrible and nothing should happen like that. Yes, and I don't mean to roll my eyes at the, you know, no political violence should happen. Like, that's a true spot to be in. As I said, to the point of just repeating myself from Thursday and Saturday and even my show this morning, it can't stop there.
Exactly.
And that's where I will probably continue to push in person when the time is right. I think if it's too soon, much like we're talking about award shows, if you come in now while he's having this kind of religious awakening and it feels like you're taking away from him, that's not going to be received right.
No,
it's not going to be received right. Because a lot of these people are seeing they're in the algorithmic silo of Charlie Kirk saying some things that do kind of have oh, that's nice or that's normal. You know, I'm hearing a lot of, but you know what I mean? Like, if that's all you see, he's just a man he's a happy warrior spreading the word of God. You're naturally going to go look at someone like me and go, what are you talking about? This great man is gone and you're celebrating, which I'm not. And that's where I'm at. So I'm right there with you. I guess we just let it lie and figure it out when it comes.
And I also have to acknowledge, I'm talking about some dumb shits in a group chat. You should see some of the other dumb shit have been in this sort of thing too, right? Like I know that when I get a chance to sit down in person, if the topic comes up, that I'll be able to have a rational, real conversation the way we're doing it right now, right? It's no different than, like than any other scenario, right? But it is such a weird thing to see somebody taking a horrific incident that happened to a horrible person, and in my opinion, on the surface, taking the wrong lesson from it, or using it to like. But then again, maybe who am I to judge, right? Like I'm not as religious as my mom would like me to be, or any of that other shit, right? But if somebody finds, but in all seriousness, if somebody finds a spiritual core in themselves that is awakened as a result of this awful thing that happened to an awful man, who am I to say it's wrong? And I don't think it's wrong. It's just weird.
It's off-putting weird, and it's been very hard for me. It's been very hard for me to deal with, because it has opened up. You hear this, we're in two separate Americas. I don't know, up in Canada. You'll be in America soon when you become our next state. But it is.
You're the maple syrup.
We are all, I want to say again, in general.
Yes.
In general, you have two people are looking at the same thing. One seeing a tree, the other seeing a rock.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the brain starts to twist a little bit. And that's kind of what I'm in the middle of right now myself.
The most difficult thing of the last decade has been seeing all these people look at facts and argue with you that brown is white and then up is down. That has been the hardest part about this whole last decade.
Yep.
Where it's so wild. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I at times I think that's why anger is the easier path, because you see a clip of, some of these, and there's a ton of these grifters saying, well, black women just don't have the mental capabilities, as they got to steal jobs from the white folks. And you see that and go, see, he's racist, and the other person goes, he's just telling the truth. I'm at a loss at what to do next. Then I'm at a loss.
I quietly told my old tag partner the other day, I'm like, don't tell me that this guy's spreading truth.
No,
that's not what he's doing. All right.
I appreciate you bringing it up, buddy. I don't mind the tough questions, tough topics. We're all going through it.
Didn't mean to derail or keep us on that path. Nope. I'll come back with I was about to say picking the titties, but that doesn't really help. Sorry, Dr. Eddie. It's all right. I'll come back with inappropriate BS in a funny way eventually.
Don't worry about it, my friend. The show goes where it needs to go. I appreciate you, okay?
All right, lots of love to everybody. Have a great day.
All right, Adam Knight. Adam Knight checking in there. Steve, as always, give us the answer. What do we do?
Peace and love, Ken. Peace and love.
Oh, is that you want me to do that?
Peace and love. Okay. Peace and love.
Okay.
I mean, that's the answer, right?
That's it. Peace and love. That's all the guy was trying to. It's all he was putting out in the world, Steve. It's all he was putting out in the world was peace and love. Peace and love. Okay. Top of the hour. We've got sports, but right now we're going to bring in our shirtless friend, Mr. Jared, the dive pilot. Tonight he's not only shirtless, Steve. He's like lounging back in his couch. I don't know what's going on in that picture.
This is bad while watching football, and
he's in bed. He's in bed. Well, what's on your mind? It was a
long weekend. Well, for one thing, Houston needs to give Collins the ball some more. I need more points out of him.
I'm done. But, I have the worst team in the Blathering Fantasy Football League. That's not even hyperbolic. I have the worst team by far.
I don't know. You let the computer fuck you over in draft.
Well, later, yes. But I have to admit, up to about round 6, I was drafting live while in the casino. So, I mean, I made the bold pick in the 5th round to take the Philadelphia Eagles defense. I've had him benched both weekends. It was a mess.
What was it? Hang on. I had a good defense. Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had 10 points for me. Then fucking Dark Jedi's silly little team had to give up some points, and they went down to 6 points. So
there you go. There you go.
But I think
hold on. 898 for him says, Ken, that's because you drafted a quarterback first. I haven't played fantasy football in about 12 seasons. Maybe producer Steve can help me in this. When did not taking a quarterback in the first round change? That was all we used to pick. That was like you better get your quarterback. I picked Jaden Daniels, and you're all like, Steve, when did this change?
It changed. I mean, I've never seen really quarterback go first round. I mean, it might have been in the league. Yeah, it might have just been the leagues you were like the quarterback, like passing touchdowns or yards were more valuable than standard scoring. But wide receivers and running backs, especially in standard leagues where you start 2 of each, it's just simple math. Like 2 running backs, when you start 1 quarterback, you start 2 running backs, you start 2 wide receivers. You need good ones. And you can get value at quarterback later on. So people usually get their first, the Lamar Jacksons, the Josh Allens, they go super early, the Patrick Mahomeses. But if you don't get one of those top 4, top 5 guys, you can get a Justin Herbert in the 6th, 7th round.
You both aren't wrong. I'm just like, I'm as an old man asking, like me and all my friends on my Yahoo draft. Oh, you better draft Rich Gannon now. You better get him. I picked Warwick Dunn. Weirdo. Why'd you pick Warwick Dunn? Well, you can catch out of the backfield. Should have got Rich Gannon.
Hey, don't worry about it, Ken. My first year of ever doing fantasy, and in the 2 leagues I'm in, what did I draft first? A tight end. Why? Because I thought a tight end both ran and caught the football. I was educated by Steve that they just catch it and then block. I was like, well, fuck me.
Yep. Well, all right. Hey, you do what you do. But that is what's on my mind tonight.
I think the Blathering fantasy talk of the week has got to be Laserbolt's goddamn Lions with Joff getting 43.96 points.
Jared Goff, whose father, Jerry Goff, was a backup catcher in the major leagues, played for Expos, Angels maybe. Laserbolt, my Lions scored me 6 points. Absolutely destroyed. I thought about that when I saw the Lions score late in the afternoon. Because I turned football off after the Dolphins lost. I was like, "Ooh, laser bolt! Look at that!" And look at that, indeed. So there you go. Every once in a while, drafting with your heart can get you a win. But there you go.
I know. I'm still gigging up to him. I got Collins on right now, and then I got Bowers at the 10 o'clock game.
There you go. Well, what is actually on your mind tonight? I hoodwinked or grabbed the conversation, forced it to fantasy football. What do you got?
Oh, no. I mean, fantasy it's fantasy season, so obviously. But I want to talk about, because I've seen this clip now like 3 or 4 times. I shared it in the Blathering, I think under the rope opera. I don't know if you ever saw it, but this has got to be one of the greatest finishers I had ever noticed. It was, I think, from the 80s. 2 guys just standing over the one guy in the mat. They start to build up their hands. The crowd's going, oh, and then they pull the goddamn Predator line of "you son of a bitch," clap each other's hands, and then drop a double elbow.
Okay.
It was brilliant.
And you put this, where'd you put this? You put this in the Blathering rope op. You put it in the rope opera in the Discord. Okay. So a little housekeeping, everybody on the Discord. We have we have too many chat things. It's just everyone always wanted more. Rope opera. There it is. Okay. I'm watching this. I'm going to keep the sound down. God, you guys post a lot. Look at this. This is an active effing Discord here. All right, there you are. Okay, I'm going to watch this right now. I'm going to see what's going on. I don't know who this is.
I think it's an indie thing.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. Oh, yeah. So it's a little bit of the Predator. Okay. All right. Yeah. It's a little. It's like a handshake, elbow drop. Okay. Sorry, everybody. That was bad radio, but I needed to say. Wanted to make sure it wasn't like the Brain Busters or someone from back in the day. I don't know who that team was, but that's good.
No, but that one has just made me laugh every time I watched it. And actually, while waiting to get on tonight, as I was just kind of scrolling through the Facebook, I saw another clip from an indie organization where one guy goes for the suplex, can't get him. So his buddy comes in and tries to help. They can't do it. But a 4th guy, he comes in on the opposite side. So now it's 2v2 and a suplex try. And this continues to go back and forth until there are 7 guys on each side until one side finally gets the suplex on all the others. They were
Oh,
connected like a freaking human centipede.
Oh man, you are somewhere somehow. Jim Cornette has heard you and is screaming to the high heavens about how you're destroying wrestling, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, no, I like weird, funny, silly wrestling. I have a mix of old school and new school, but also wrestling so wonderfully silly that sometimes we always had one good match. Our first at MPW in May of 2010 when we came back, the Big Rowdy Roddy Piper show. We had a bunch of stuff going on there. We also had a match that ended up being Ghostbusters versus Star Wars, I think it was, and we hired some Ghostbusters impersonators. And then Ghostbuster Ecto 1 came out, and then we had some people dressed as Stormtroopers and Darth Vader. And the whole, like, they came out as to be on the ringside for the wrestlers and support. And it just turned into a wonderful nerd fest. And I like that kind of stuff, too.
Nice. Yeah, no, I do love, when I did watch wrestling, it was that Attitude Era. So a lot of silly shit happened then, too. And that was always made me the most fun. Like, I'll never forget one of my favorite matches was the Boiler Room match, where Mankind, the Undertaker had to go find Mankind in the Boiler Room, and they wrestled all the way up to the rink until Paul Bearer screwed over Undertaker.
Yep.
That was good stuff right there.
There was early days of Mankind too, before he truly, I think, got over it. I loved him because Cactus Jack was one of my favorites before he even stepped in there. Adam Knight is also reminding us you can watch his latest wrestling matchup on his YouTube channel there. Check it out. All right, Jared. Before I let you go, we got sports coming up, but do you have one wrestling question for me? Well, let's answer a wrestling question. What do you got?
When do you think wrestling went more scripted versus? I don't want to say like actual wrestling because I feel it was always scripted, but when did the script become the more Bible of the backstage versus just you guys both go out there and you get the win tonight, kind of shit like that?
I mean, from the early days, from the Hackenschmidt days on and the Thez days. I mean, in terms of, I know you're not asking like when do we decide we better fix this outcome so people will watch, but that from the Gotch Hackenschmidt days way back then, it began. What I think you're talking about is very muddy. It's very muddy in the sense of. A lot of times it is you'll work it out in the ring, and it's also based on how your own personal style. Adam would probably answer this a little bit better than I, but like Macho Man Randy Savage for the most part was scripted down to every second. He was famous for that. The Ricky Steamboat match at WrestleMania 3, they rehearsed for months, and it's the greatest match of all time. But they're still two pros that if things went sideways or they needed to adjust, they could. Nowadays, there is, again, I haven't been backstage consistently for years, so I'm not even the one to think of it. But there was a push in I don't know, I felt it in the early 2010s where a lot of these guys didn't trust the process and they tried to map out every beat, even though that worked for Macho, it locked them in a way where it started to, I felt, lose some of the effect in the ring. Adam Knight would maybe add more to that, but they're both things work. Both things work. You just got to know what to do. But I think in terms of a big push, maybe 15, 20 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah, no, because the way I've kind of come down on it from, like I said, I watch every now and then, but I used to watch a lot more, is I like the kind of the in between where you decide your outcome ahead of time and maybe plan one or two big moves, like the RKO. I forget who got it, but like they threw him off the top of the cage and then he got RKO on the bottom.
But even then it's never been that loose. Even then it's never been that. I mean, maybe in the territory days or something like that. Just get out there and wrestle, boys. But even then, WWE, WWF, going back to the mid-90s on, even all indies, Adam will tell you, you are still in the corner of a locker room going, all right, hip toss, drop down, like it's still known. It's just you're kind of figuring it out in the locker room, and then yes, a heel usually calls the match to kind of control the pace, and the refs too as well. So even then, it's not as wide open as it might appear, if that makes sense.
No, it definitely does. And actually, you just made me thought it's like I never even considered. It's like, yeah, the refs could kind of really control the dictation of, hey, guys do this more, or like I don't know. I feel
Timing.
like the refs have more power in the
Yeah,
ring.
timing. They always, yeah, they're the ones calling it. In a lot of ways, they're the ones. Hey, you got to go home. You got a minute left. You got to do this. Hey, stall here. Me as a manager, often it was, the ref would come over to me because I'm yelling at him, and he'd be like, "Hey, Tex, how dare you? Hey, go tell your guy to do this." And I'd go over there. Yeah, all that stuff. That's part of the game. But yeah. It's fascinating. It's one of the things I love and miss about being in the business.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, are you ready for Game of Thrones Thursday?
I think I will be. Oh, by the way, everybody, Thursday we're starting about 4:30. 4:30 in the Pacific time zone because the Miami Dolphins are playing, and I want to go watch Mike McDaniel's last game. So we'll be going about 4:30 to 6 on Thursday there. So, but I will. Season 6, episode 8 coming this week.
What was it? You cut out there on me.
Season 6, episode 8. Yeah.
Yep. We're going on to No One. So
Perfect.
The abolishment of the trial by combat by Tony.
Love it.
Love it. That little snake of a king who just didn't have a backbone.
Absolutely, and pays for it in the end. Thank you, Jared. We'll get to it Thursday. I can't wait to see Cersei suffer.
You got it. All right, brother. Stay safe.
All right. Keep your shirt off. Let's do some sports. We don't have. I have sports theme music. No, that's not it. That's kind of. It's the old Robbie and I show theme. All right.
That sounds more like jazzercise. Workout.
Yeah. You know what it is?
VHS.
It's like 1982 NFL films. Otis Anderson of the St. Louis Cardinals with the ball. All right. Okay. Let's get to some sports. We didn't do the bread talk yet. We'll do the bread after sports.
Okay.
Sorry, bread. I want to get to that. It's important. Steve, let's recount. We should just get right to it. What's my record? 2-3, you said?
Your record for week 2, Ken, was 2-3. You are now 3-7 on the season, so we're improving. You are improving. So the Cowboys let you down this week. That was the difference between a winning and losing record for you. The Cowboys won their game, but they were favored by 4.5 points, and they only won by 3. So that
forgot
killed
about
you.
them. Lions, I got. Vikings,
yeah, Lions
no.
and Eagles got. Vikings lost. Dolphins lost.
Oh my god. Okay, so it was close. I think what was it 2.5? What was the line on the Eagles Kansas City game?
The Eagles, the Chiefs were 1.5 point underdogs, so the Eagles had to win by at least 2 points, and they won. They won by 3. So, yep.
All right. Okay. All right. 2-3, 3-7 is not bad. We can come back. We can have a big 0-5 week. So we're not doing the picks now. Even if you're in the delivery room, you're going to submit me 4 games outside because we are going to do the game Thursday. It's the Dolphin game. I'm going to submit the pick now and count it for the picks on Thursday.
Okay.
We don't have a graphic or anything. We don't need it. Do you know what the line is at this point? Either you dropped out or I dropped out.
Oh, I muted as soon as I grabbed my mic. I was gonna say if you, I'm gonna grab the line for you if you want to go over why you think this is gonna be your coach's last game.
Yeah. So here it is. The pain of a Miami Dolphin fan. This is what is the last 25 to 30 years has been. I love our team. I love our roster. I actually like Mike McDaniel. I think.
I just saw the line.
Okay. All right. I like Mike McDaniel. I just think it's become very apparent that he's a coordinator. And the biggest thing for me was I thought we played pretty good. For those that don't know, the Dolphins started a little slow at home against the Patriots. We kept up. We had an interception that was called back from penalty, so Tua got some new life. We hit Tariq had over 100 yards. Like it was looking good. And then we were down, but Malik Washington returned a punt, just electric. Returned it for a touchdown late in the game. 7 minutes left. Defense starting to play a little bit better. I think we went the first 2 games. We went 10 straight series, 10 consecutive series on defense where our opponent scored. Unacceptable. I'm choking on my Dolphin bile here.
Yeah, the Colts did not punt in the first game against the Dolphins.
Did not punt.
Not a single punt.
We turned these Patriots, we turned them into the Brady Patriots. But we came back. And when he returned that punt, I was listening on the NFL radio network, and I thought, we've done it. We've done it. We've done it. The very next play is a kickoff. The Patriots return it back for a touchdown. We get the ball back. Excuse me here. We get the ball back. For those that weren't paying attention, we have about a minute left. We're like we're on the Patriots 26. We're looking to score a touchdown. We're looking to win the game with a minute to go. 2 consecutive delay of game penalties. And we had a timeout. They didn't use it, but it would have been our last timeout. They took intentionally almost like, what are we going to do? Took 10 yards. And that was it. Done. We couldn't win the game. That's on the coach. That is on the coach, who is the play caller.
Yeah, it's not a good indictment on McDaniel the way that the game ended. It was you're not gonna like the line in this next game, but yeah, it was a heartbreaking kind of finish for the Dolphins, because you're exactly right. You could feel like there was like an air of hope after that punt return.
Yes.
That was like, even Scott Hansen on Red Zone was like, the Dolphins might have turned something around here. Like, look at all the energy and the life, the juice on the punt return. Like, this is a big deal. And then 38 real time seconds later, they do a kickoff return for a touchdown, and all of the air is let out of that balloon immediately, and you're back to where you were.
Yeah, Omar Kelly, the Miami Herald, was saying on his show today that Malik returns the touchdown, extra points made, and he looks down and goes, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to get down to the press conference. I'm gonna go to the bathroom." And he gets up and goes, I'm in the bathroom at the urinal, and I hear and feel the stadium rocking. And I'm like, what happened? And he comes back, and it's that touchdown. But here's the thing. We had a chance. And this is the Dolphin season in a nutshell. This is maybe Mike McDaniel's future as an NFL coach. Devon Achane scores. We win the game. It's a big, giant 50, however long it was, pass play. He stepped out of bounds by a mere fraction, so they called the play back. That's why we were around the 25, 24-yard line on the Patriots. If he doesn't step in, we win the game. And instead we lose. That's the season in a nutshell. That's what being a Miami Dolphin fan for the last 25 to 30 years has been.
Well, maybe not for 25 or 30 years, but that's just being a sports fan. A lot of times, like, that's why they talk about blade of grass, like, crack of the bat. Like, one little thing can do and impact so much. That's kind of why we love it, though, because it makes us crazy. Just be happy, Ken, that something like this exists that makes you feel this way.
In a weird way.
You cared, right?
In a weird way. The day that will finally come that we turn this around, it'll feel that much more sweeter. Much like it was for me when the Yankees won in 96. It had been a lot less amount of time, but for all my life, the Yankees were second best or losers, or in 1990, the worst team in baseball. So they won in 96. That was a great emotional release. That's why I love sports. But here, before we get to the pick, I think Mike McDaniel will be a consultant with the 49ers by the end of the season. I think even if they lose and it's close and they lose and they put up one hell of a fight and it's still the Buffalo Bills, Thursday Night Football, I think he could last and maybe get to Monday night, and then they'd need to win on Monday night. My original prediction was that if they go 0-4 at the end of that Monday night game against the Jets at home, he's fired the next morning. But I'm thinking more now, if it's 0-3 and the team does the same kind of shit they've done the first 2 weeks, you fire Mike McDaniel Friday morning, and you have over a week. You have a long week to get to that Monday night game with your new coach. I think it could happen Friday.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good observation. The organizations like to work that way with the extra time and everything. Get the Friday news cycle, the coach out of the way, so then everyone's focused on the games. A day and a half later. And hopefully all the bad press is kind of out of the way, and then you can focus on finding a new coach. It's early enough in the season. You could get whoever the darling of the college season is as far as coaching prospects go. Being the first team to fire your coach, you'll have the pick of the litter, so to speak. So man, I'm trying to be glass half full here for you, because he's toast. Like, let's be honest, it's a matter of time.
He's toast. If I'm his wife, I'm packing some bags already at home.
We're looking at Zillow and everything.
I'm starting to take things down off the walls. Maybe Anthony Weaver will be the interim coach. Who knows? I remember, last time Brian Flores, Dan Campbell comes in. We let him go to Detroit. So, anyways, let's do the pick. So this is the pick for Thursday, but I did not want to miss out on the Miami Dolphins. What is the line?
Your Miami Dolphins, Ken, will be playing at the Buffalo Bills.
Oof.
The Bills are. Do you want to guess? Do you want to take a guess first before I give you this?
How many points they're favored by?
Yeah. How many points are the favorite? Oh, you think the Bills are favored? Okay, well, that's your first thing you're right on. The Bills are favored. The Bills are favored. How many points?
9.5.
12.5. Ken.
Oh my
12
God.
and a,
That's I've never heard that. Come on.
12 and a half. 12 and a half is a lot. We use FanDuel Sportsbook here on the Blathering because that's the thing that producer Steve bets on. But yeah.
So my prediction is that Miami loses, but I got to be careful here. They might cover here.
If they lose by 12 points, you're cashing checks because 12 and a half is the line. So if you bet on the Bills have to win by 13 points for your bet to win. This is this is why Vegas has those big hotels, Ken, because they do this stuff and make it difficult.
Look, the Bills are going to win. The Bills are going to win.
This is what addiction looks like right here. Watch the spiral right now.
But I got to tell you, Bills are going to win. But the Dolphins, I'm taking it right now. I'm putting it down. Dolphins are going to cover. Dolphins are going to cover. I think it's a 9-point loss. Because
9 points. Okay.
Look.
Sure.
The Ravens put up 40. We've got skill players, and we've got skill players playing for contracts with other teams next year.
Yeah.
I think they're going to come out, but there's just no way with our secondary, no way with our injuries on the offensive line. But I think it's going to be you're going to see a too late of comeback from the Dolphins. They're still going to lose, but I'm taking Miami to cover.
I think Josh Allen broke his nose or something yesterday, and he's still gonna put 40 points on you guys with like a half broken, surgically repaired nose.
Oh, it must be so hard for him in
yeah.
that working class town with Haley Steinfeld just putting
Very
Band-Aids
working class.
on for him. Oh
Right.
man,
Yeah.
so sorry for Josh Allen. Oh god,
that was pretty well. They had that play on red zone when it happened. He came up and like had his head down, immediately went to the sideline, and you could just see like all blood dripping out of his helmet. And they just someone just started aggressively stuffing gauze like up his nose, like he was like a World War II patient who just gotten like shot by a sniper. And he was just like, okay, and they like pat him on the shoulder like he was a racehorse. And was like, all right, you're good to go.
This is the NFL. Yeah, okay.
But 12 and a half points that's a lot. Just for context,
it's a lot.
That's a lot. Double digits is a lot. 12 and a half points is a lot. A 10-point spread is a lot in the NFL. 12 and a half points is like almost offensive.
Yeah, no, it's like if I was Stephen Ross, the owner of the Miami Dolphins, and I saw that line, I think I'd fire McDaniel just for that line.
You're because you're a billionaire, right? Like they're all maniacal, evil bastards anyway. You're like nudging whoever you're at like happy hour with, like 12 and a half points. Like this dude's screwed unless he pulls off a miracle. We're canning his ass. Like don't even let him on the plane on the way home.
Oh yeah. It's one of those. We'll ship some boxes from your office to your home. Don't even come home. I think Mike McDaniel's a nice guy. I really think he is. I think he's a good coordinator. I think he'll help some other team. It just, I don't know. It didn't work.
He can make a lot of money as an ambassador for Lululemon. I'm telling you, he has personally inspired my fashion choices because those pants that he wears are incredibly comfortable.
Incredible. Laserbolt asked in chat, who's got the Dolphins D? No one. I saw they got dropped right after the game this weekend.
So, well, here's the thing. I talked about this on Backstage on Saturday night in a 4-hour stream haze. I was like looking at fantasy because realized, my someone about my defense was wrong or something was bad. The projection was really bad. So I looked at defenses and was like, the Dolphins defense is like projected well. The Patriots suck. Let's do this. Let's ride or die with the Dolphins defense. And I woke up on Sunday morning and like read my actual like little fantasy like pregame sheet and was like, oh no, the Dolphins defense is terrible. All of the cornerbacks are bad. Let me drop them and grab whoever the hell else is available. So yeah,
okay. It was you then. I didn't see it was you. I just thought they got dropped.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's our look at sports. Before we get out of here, do you want to talk about bread?
I want to talk about this, Ken.
Steve is holding up a piece of wheat bread with a giant.
It is a piece of wheat bread.
Dare we say, finger-sized hole in it. You can spin that bread around.
Yeah, I could. I probably could get there we go. Got a full rotation. This is an abomination on our current food supply chain, Ken.
Yep.
Shit, I'm getting crumbs on my keyboard. I just cleaned my keyboard this weekend. Motherfucker. this is an issue, Ken. This is Donald Trump's America. This is an issue with the food supply chain. This is happening to every goddamn loaf of bread I have purchased at whatever, pick your big box store of choice, grocery store of choice.
Okay.
Multiple brands. There is either some kind of a bread worm epidemic, or whatever machine that they're using at the bread making factory has something screwed up that's creating a hole in the entire loaf of bread, with the exception of the heel and like the first 2 slices. Every other slice looks just like this. So we either have like an American Pie situation going on at the bread making factory, or they calculated that cutting this much bread out of the slice will save them some kind, like this is shrinkflation just disguised as fraud. I don't know. I'm pissed though.
So you're finding that this mysterious hole goes through many slices of bread in the loaf, if not all the way.
70%, at least 70% of the loaf, if not more.
What could cause that? What could cause that? We do need a science explanation. A dick in the loaf at the factory is one option.
Yeah, that's on
a
the
blast
board.
of air from some kind of packing machine, a rat, a worm.
It doesn't look bit like yeah, I mean, if it's the worm, what is it? Like look at the size of that thing. Worm, what is it? Like the Tremor monster? Like what do we
Yes.
That's not a worm. Like that's
Kevin Bacon is running from that loaf of bread right now.
like this way too big to be a worm. So yeah, I don't. It pisses me off though, Ken, because like try making up jelly. You know how hard it is to spread grape jelly over that?
Yeah, that's
it
what
gets your hands all sticky and icky. It's annoying.
I don't like sticky and icky hands. Yeah,
butter. It's not good.
How do you get around this? Do you cut around? Do you just?
I just live with it. This is my current cross to bear, Ken. I just live with it. I put stuff over it, and we just pray that it doesn't get too droopy or drippy and sticky and whatever. So usually, and this leads you to my next question.
Yeah,
about the bread.
No one likes a droopy hole. All right, hit me.
Is it bad? So like I said, 70% of my bread looks like this, right? So I go to, it's lunchtime on the weekend. It's just daddy and baby hanging out at home. And I have to make, it's lunchtime. Let's make some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. There's like 6 slices of bread left, including the heel. I'm not going to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich out of the actual heel. I'm not a monster. But there was the choice between this and like 2 pieces of like actual whole slices of bread, like 2 like pristine slices of bread, right? My daughter's 2 years old. Let's be honest, she's going to do unspeakable things to that sandwich anyways with her hands, like pulling it apart and 8 different I made my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I used the 2 good pieces of bread. Am I a monster?
No. I think this is keeping a little piece of sanity, dare I say 2 slices of sanity for yourself. I absolve you of any parenting crimes. Now, years from now, when she is of age and has gone through some therapy because of the time my dad stole good pieces of bread from me, maybe it's a different conversation. But at this point, you're right. First of all, she's going to make even more holes in the bread. She's going to mush it, right? She's just going to do that cute little baby thing. I'm just look at that. And you take a picture, and years from now on graduation night or prom night, oh, I got pictures of her. Look at all that jelly on her face. It's hilarious. I think you've done right. I think you need to keep yourself healthy, Steve, so you can be a better parent.
Okay, that I appreciate that. My conscience feels better. The guilt feels a bit lifted. Okay, I feel better about that. Now, same question applies when all the loaves are fine, but again, still 2 pristine pieces of bread. But we're not talking heel piece, but like close to the heel piece. Again, I still kind of do the same thing. Like give him the choice. I'm giving Daddy the nicer bread slices.
Yeah, no, you paid for it, right? Or maybe your wife did. I don't want to assume that. I don't assume that. Yeah. But they don't know. The amount of heels I had as a kid. This sounds like I'm talking about how in my day we drank straight from the hose. But the amount of heel-based sandwiches I had, I still like it. I told you off air, if I'm making a sandwich or I got bread involved in my dinner and I got a thing of butter, even if it's the Country Crock avocado oil plant-based butter, I'll take a heel and I'll just slap it with so much butter that it's offensive. And I'll just have like a little mini butter sandwich right there while I'm doing my cooking. I think the heel is an underrated part of the loaf. It's versatile. I'll take it.
It is. Well, good. I mean, it's a very good way to not waste stuff because many heels just get tossed in the trash. Like a lot of people just have no use for their heel, and I try to find like some kind of use, whether it's baby food or a grilled cheese. You know, I'll peanut butter toast it and then peanut butter on one side. Kind of is a pretty decent way to make use of a heel.
Sandwich. What about, did you as a kid, or do you with your child, do you go feed the ducks? Is that a thing anymore? Feeding the ducks?
I have never fed the ducks with my daughter. We're not quite at feeding the ducks level of play. I'm excited for. We're still at like smacking the dog walking around the house and not like falling over as he's like barrels into her and stuff like that. But I'm looking forward to things like we've gone to the zoo before. That was a fun experience. But we haven't gotten to like throwing food at an animal to feed it. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there.
But did you do that as a kid though? Did you go feed the ducks?
Oh, no, my dad didn't tell me to. My dad did not take me to go feed the ducks. No, hell no. My dad wasn't going to take me to go feed the ducks. I might have done it a little bit on my own, but yeah.
Anyone in chat, this was like a thing we did all the time. We did it with my grandparents. We went to Eisenhower Park in Anaheim, and then in my hometown, Oceano has a little pond where ducks are at, and it was like it's Saturday. Get the frozen bread out of the freezer, all the loaves, all the discarded heels, and we go feed the ducks. Okay.
Yeah, complete like moral proclivities aside, I was basically raised by Don Draper, so I didn't have like that kind of like those kind of cutesy little there wasn't a whole lot of like patting on the back of like proud of you son, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So
wow. Okay, we got to work through it with
not from that level. You know what I mean? Of like, hey, let's go feed the ducks. You know what I mean? Like we weren't feeding. It wasn't, hey, let's go feed the ducks, kid. You know what I mean? It wasn't that.
Look, no one else in chat is siding with me on feeding the ducks, so I'm alone on this. Laserbolt says a few times. I mean, that would track. All right. Okay.
Don't get me wrong. My dad was a good guy. We played catch.
I'm not saying your dad wasn't a good guy.
We didn't feed the ducks. That's all.
I fed the ducks. We didn't play catch. My dad did not play catch. He doesn't like sports. All right. Okay. We did it. We did it, everybody. I got to go. I got a 4-sitter episode to record. We're going to have a lot of fun doing that. We'll be back Thursday, 4:30 p.m. Pacific start time. We don't believe Steve's going to be here.
No, I won't be here Thursday.
You got more important things here to do. So I'll pick some NFL games of my own. I'm still trying to get a pinch hitter for that segment, all those kind of things. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for the super chats tonight. Everybody, really means a lot to help keep the channel going and the show growing. I really do appreciate it. Let's play that music. Let's get out of here. We'll see everybody. Deep breath. Bye.